Welcome to a presentation about special education and compliance. My name is Kimberly Perry, and I will discuss information about programs such as 504 and 508. These federal programs are put in place to ensure that special education students are provided access to a fair education. One of the first components of this assignment was to create a memo reaching out to special education leaders within the district. Here is a picture of the memo, part of the memo that I sent in as part one of my assignment, but I was able to contact Lisa Posey, who's the special education coordinator at the school that I work at. Um, my district does not have a 508 coordinator, but my school does have a 504 compliance coordinator. But Ms. Posey did tell me that when students are in need of assistive technology, there is a process as far as filling out certain paperwork to have an evaluation, but there is a team, an IEP team that comes together to think about what are the best alternatives for the child. And she did say that under IDEA, federal money is mandated for students who need assistive technology. So there is no shortage in funding when it comes to getting assistive technology for special education students that need them. Here is some graphic art about the process that it takes um, in order to place a child under a 504 program, or even the process that it takes to seek financial aid for a student regarding special education under the IDEA program. As you can see, both require um, evaluations with IEP teams to deem if the child is eligible or not. And if they are, the process continues as stated, whether there will be certain accommodations placed in the educational portfolio of the child to once again ensure that the child receives the best education available. So the next part of my assignment was to create a comparative grid using WCAG 2.0 provisions as well as 508 provisions to gauge if a specific site was meeting the criteria. So I've chosen to use my work site for um, my school. So, with the first provision listed here, the criteria provides for captioning of live video and multimedia. This website does not specifically have it, but it does allow for one to include website addresses and blogs, and they may have the captioning available, such as with YouTube. If I was to provide the address to my YouTube channel, you can go there to look at videos that will have captioning. The next provision, 1.4.3, there's no 508 provision for that one. But the criteria says provides for specified contrast between foreground and background of text and images of text. I am not allowed to change or manipulate the contrast that will show on the overall page. That will probably have to be something that administrator of the school's page as a whole will have to do. But as you can see, they're sticking with darker tones, and it has a nice balance to it. I'm gonna go to my actual page. Here's the actual page. Has a nice contrast to it. I don't think anything is overpowering. I think there's enough white space But then again, as a teacher, I cannot change the overall background of the web page. It would have to be an administrator to do that. The next criteria that we will discuss is if the web page provides for the content that remains readable and functional when the font size is doubled. So after I select this, it was all the same size, relatively a 2, and I increased it to a 7. So let's see how it looks when viewers see it. As you can see, it's still readable, even though I've made the font extremely larger than what was previously there. For the next two criterias, they both can be found here with the header navigation, as the user can choose if they want to do text only, images only, or text and images to create or provide more accessibility when it comes to their web page. Okay, the next two criteria, the first one says provides that repeated navigational components occur in the same relative order each time they are encountered, and does it provide that components have the same functionality that they are identified consistently? Yes. No matter how much I change on my preference or even my user profile, if I do not at the bottom select update user, then it's not going to change. And also, as many times as I switch or change tabs, it's still going to be set up in the same order. So it helps me to become more familiar with it, so I'll know exactly where I need to go to make specific changes in order to make my page more increase the functionality of my page. The last criteria deals with does the system make suggestions for correction when input errors are automatically detected and suggestions are available? That is found primarily here under the personal message section. As you can see, this is not an actual word, but it alerted me with an underlined red line. Now, if I right click, I can find suggestions that the system thinks I may be attempting to say, so it helps me to correct them. Those who are familiar with Word, it's the same setup. You can do spell check, add background colors. You can format it in many different ways. You can add attachments and pictures, links. There are so many options when it comes to your personal message section to um, focus on all of the important information that you need to get out there for your students and parents and other stakeholders. My chart was adopted from this website that I used to make the comparisons in regards to the WCAG 2.0 provisions as well as 508 provisions. So, based upon my chart and my evaluation of my school's webpage, there are some components missing when it comes to meeting all the specified criteria for special education accessibility, but majority of it is there. And I will definitely pose the questions where the criteria wasn't met to my technology coordinator in my school as well as the district coordinator, and hopefully we can come up with a solution to rectify the situation. Thank you.